Hello everyone. Today I'd like to talk about television theme songs, really the intro songs. Okay. So during the pandemic, I started to get into collecting various TV series, on Blu-ray or DVD, whether it's the complete season or the entire series, but it's usually the seasons. And the reason why was you could start to find them like at garage sales and so forth really cheap, right? People buy them. It's not really like music unless it's a really good show, and the replayability of these TV series are not as is not like music, right? But you could see a lot of people just trying to get rid of them cheap, like $1, $2 a season, and that's when I started to collect them. Not I wouldn't say collect them. It's more like, hey, I try to find shows that you can't get on standard TV, and they're either you gotta go through like a subscription service, whether it's like cable and specific channels, or like Netflix or Amazon, so forth. I try to get those, but even standard TV, like rabbit ears, I would collect them too, as long as they were cheap or something like that. I didn't mind. I mean, it's one of those where I get it and I can dispose it mainly by donating or something like that. So, I didn't have to spend quite a bit of money for it. Anyway, I realized majority of the shows that I've gotten were like from the 2000s and on. Okay. And one big thing I've noticed from watching them, and I haven't watched every single show from the 2000s on, just the popular ones, but pretty much every show I've watched from the 2000s and on, I noticed that the theme songs were just mid to like non-existent. I mean, I don't know why. Compared to like shows from the 70s, 80s, 90s even. Now, flashback a bit. As a little kid growing up, I wasn't a big TV person either at the time. If anything, TV for me would be like sports, like watching sports. There are a lot of things going on regular TV. Number two, besides TV, I prefer to like, play video games or do something else, listen to music or something like that, or actually play the sport rather than watch it. But there would be for TV, as a little kid, there would be a segment of time like before prime time that no one watches TV, and if I really had nothing to do, I would turn on the TV. And the shows that I would watch or get into are reruns. And because majority of that time would be reruns or like talk shows or something like that. Talk shows I wasn't really interested, but the reruns were okay. And the majority of the reruns were the 70s and 80s shows. Okay, there might be some 60s, but majority were 70s and 80s. Now, majority of those shows, TV shows, to me they were okay. I wasn't a big fan of them, but what got me into watching them were were the theme songs. Okay, it seems like the theme songs, and I'm going to make the comparison now. The theme songs back then, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, okay? It seems like they were an integral part of the TV shows themselves. I mean, it wasn't like, it was well thought out. When the producer, director, or whatever, creator of the show, they have an idea for the show, and they make the show, and they're like, hey, we need to make it just as good of a theme song for the show to represent the show. And it seemed like there was a lot of effort, a lot of thought, a lot of creativity, and probably quite a bit of money put in to the theme songs, whether it's creating them, the memorable melodies and so forth, and even hiring like big time artists to perform those theme songs and so forth. Not only it seemed like a lot of that effort was put into TV theme songs, and not only that, those songs were damn good, if not fantastic. It's just unbelievable. I mean, For example, The Love Boat, okay? I actually I can't say I hate the show. I just don't like it. I never understood it. When I was a little kid, I never really understood it. Mainly because it was, first of all, it's a long show. It was like an hour or so. Yeah, it was an hour show. Second of all, I think the highlights of the show are the guest actors that were in the show, and because I didn't know anyone or most of them, yeah, it didn't really make any sense to me, and I thought the show was just boring as heck. However, the, the Jack Jones theme song was hell of a theme song. Now, there's multiple theme songs for Love Boat. The Jack Jones original one, the kind of the crooner style of it, the loungy. I love that one. That's my favorite. They also have the disco version of Jack Jones. That one, it's okay. And then I think the later years they have the Dionne Warwick one, which is okay too. But the original one, man, I gotta admit, just that theme song alone got me always wanting to watch Love Boat. But then after the theme song and maybe the first like 10 minutes, I just turned it off or flipped to something else. I mean, I just never got into the show, but it didn't matter because I love the song. Okay, I can say that for a lot of shows from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even some of the 90s. Now, even if it's a show I don't like, but the theme song is good, I I've got to admit they really killed it back then. Compared till today, from this, or really from the 2000s and on. Again, I haven't watched a lot of shows. I know there's so many of them these days with so many because there's so many distributions. There's so many shows that were made and distributed so differently. I can't really say, but the ones that I bought and started watching, majority weren't. They're just either mid to me or just I can't even remember a majority of them. Right? Uh, I'm gonna try to figure out why this is the case. Now, I'm thinking from the 2000s and on, and there could be a few reasons that are all valid. Okay, from the 2000s on, I think they may have focused more on just the content of the show, and they want to skimp out on the theme song. It's like the theme songs become an afterthought. It's like, okay, we finished the show, we finish everything, and now just make a theme song. It was never an integral part of the show. Okay, that's number one. Number two could be the cost as well. They just don't want to, spend a lot of money, especially on new shows, a lot of money on trying to create that great theme song for the show. Okay. Number three, and I think it's probably the case, is the ad time. It's like, and I can understand where, theme songs back then and the intros were like a minute long. But, these days that minute can be used for ad time or shrinking the show's overall time as well as the intro. And then they can add another commercial, section in there and make more money off of it. I think that's another big reason as to why theme songs and intros in general for TV shows just suck. To me, they suck. Again, they're just an afterthought. Even shows like, okay, so I watch like, and when I mean theme songs and intros, I'm not saying song or shows that are reboots like Hawaii Five-O that kind of reuse the Hawaii Five-O theme song, which is fantastic. Mission Impossible, stuff like that, or like shows that use already made songs like pop songs. Like first thing I can think of is like CSI, the original one that's in Vegas. They use the "Who Are You" from the Who, right? So I'm not talking about either. They have to be original, okay? And for all the original songs for new shows or shows from 2000s and on, they're just bad. I mean, people, when I read comments about great theme songs, and they talk about like Orange is the New Black, and that one is that's just mid to me. Or Game of Thrones. That sounds like some Korean drama theme song or something that was ripped off. Bob's Burgers and Stranger Things. That sounds like the ripoff from the X Files, which I didn't really like to begin with. It's just it. That's the thing. It's kind of like it's either like short and you don't hear the melody. It's just ambient music, or just not. It's just not memorable. Majority, if not all, of these shows from 2009. Now, if I recall, I think I liked the one from Psych. I thought that was okay. But outside of that, um, again, and I haven't watched a lot of the TV series, TV shows, and it's just they're just mid. It's just almost again, it's just like an afterthought. Where you go back to the 70s, 80s tunes, they're freaking impressive. Not only impressive, if you think about it, a lot of these songs can just come out by themselves, and they're like their own song. Like you can play on the radio. They're not just like a 10-second, 30-second, 1 minute clip, and that's it, and that's all you get. They're actual songs, like really made, thought of songs that a lot of them, from what I understand, or not a lot, but some of them were actually hits on the radio, right? I mean, songs like this, from, I can think of this, Bob James, the theme to Taxi, right? Angela's theme. You got that. You got Moonlighting. This is absolute fantastic from Al Jarreau. Damn, this song just kicks ass all by itself, and it was a hit too. I mean, there's so many great themes from the 70s and 80s, just impossible to list out. There's a lot of them, and like the Moonlighting TV show and so forth, Taxi itself, I wasn't a big fan of. I just like listening to the theme song. That's pretty much it. But at least I knew the show, even though I don't like it or watch it, because the theme song's fantastic. I mean, there's so many good ones. I mean, even come to think about it, like there there's a lot. I got this album right here that has pretty much all the hit TV shows from the 70s and 80s all compiled into one album. This is very good if you like those TV shows. But if you think about it, there's so many to list. I know there's a lot of favorites, and I'm gonna play the one that's my favorite. And this show I don't really watch either. I just absolutely love the theme. I'll just play it for you. It's just a jazz piece too. Yeah, you know this one. Hill Street Blues. Okay, Mike Post with Larry Carlton on the guitar. That theme song, when I first heard it, just wow, just blew me away. And I had to watch the show. And then when I watch Hill Street Blues, it turns out it's not the type of show I like, the police type drama stuff. It's just there's some police drama, but not that show. But I just can't get over that theme song. Okay, and when you listen to I'm playing it from this album. Okay, Tube Tunes. Okay. This is actually volume 3. There's like 3 volumes. I only have the first 2, or 2 and 3. The first one being 70s. The second one is like the 70s and 80s, and this one is 80s. I can't find the second one, but this one is unique in the sense that if there's like the actual song that's like 2-3 minutes long, they would use that instead of the actual the shortened 1 minute or whatever. The actual intro song. Like, remember this album I showed? This album it's like you just turn on a TV and do a recording of every hit TV show, and that's basically what this is. This is like the 30-second to 1 minute. Where in this case, this one are like the album versions. If there were album versions, they would use the album versions. That's why what makes this series very unique. Very, very unique. So, and in this one too, besides Hill Street Blues, I mean, there's like a bunch of them. Oh, I gotta play them. So this one is one of my favorites too, and I didn't really like the show as well. This is the WKRP in Cincinnati, but it's fantastic. It's a fantastic song. This one is Dukes of Hazzard. This is one my honorable mention right here. Okay. This is a theme from Believe It, The Greatest American Hero. I didn't like that series at all. I didn't think it was that funny. And then probably a lot of people's popular one is this one. I didn't like that one. That's Miami Vice. That was actually popular too. But this one. So this is the theme to Cheers. It's a good song. And Cheers actually I kind of like. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good comedy. So, and all those songs I just played are the full versions of them. So they're not the 1 minute you hear. This is the full songs. So I don't know why. I think that the reasons why I mentioned in for the theme songs from 2000s and on, there could be again a lot of reasons, and they could all be right. I just kind of wonder why we just really strayed away from it. I mean, even if you had to make like just a pure 1 minute theme song, just make it, and be done with it, because be done with it being make a great one and be done with it, because it's going to be the one that be played for every show. And no matter if you buy this the series and you just skip it, it doesn't matter. Believe it or not, no pun intended, but theme songs, if you have a catchy one, can actually bring people in to watch. I mean, it might be a small percentage, like myself, that might do it, but it's going to be one of those long-lasting series, and you want to make sure that theme song is going to be constantly played. Especially the longer you go, it's that theme song, and you want to make sure you get that right, no matter what. Regardless how bad your show is or anything like that, at least put some effort in the theme song. I wish. I hope, I don't know, down the road, here on out, if there's going to be TV, themes or new TV series with good theme songs. The way this is trending, I think we're just going to even eliminate intros and just put a picture, like a screenshot, just to know what show you're watching and then start right off the bat. Who knows? But anyway, it's a shame. What I'm getting at, it's a total shame. I noticed this trend from watching all these new series from the pandemic on, and it's a shame. It's a shame. That's all I have to say. Tell me what you think. Why are we going this route? There might be something else that I'm missing, or maybe the theme songs that are coming out for these 2000s and later TV series are actually pretty good, that my ears just can't conceive. I don't know. Could be. But anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.